Ideally, it's better to get vaccinated when your disease is well controlled, but unless you have a life-threatening illness, like you're in the intensive care unit, you should get vaccinated as quickly as possible. And there's only one or two caveats that I'll make mention of right now. There was also, and it's this, it's what do I do with my medicines, or what do I do with the vaccine in terms of timing? So for the first sets of rows, pick out whatever medicine that you might be on. If it's in those first couple sets of rows, there were no modifications recommended to either the medicine you're on, that's the immunomodulatory therapy, or what you would do for the vaccine. Just go get vaccinated. There were three exceptions where doctors and other providers and patients might think about a brief interruption of methotrexate, Janus kinase inhibitors. This would include upadacitinib, which is Rinvoq, baricitinib, which is Olumiant, or tofacitinib, which is Xeljanz, where there was a recommendation to hold that medicine for a week after each vaccine dose. And then finally, abatacept, which is Orencia. If you're on that once-week subcutaneous injection dosing, there was a recommendation to hold 1 week before and after the first of the two mRNA vaccine doses. So what the T cells do, for that first dose, as they're sort of doing the handshake where they're seeing parts of the virus for the first time and getting to know it, like a first impression on a first date, you want that to go really well. And Orencia might cause particular problems because of how it works, to make that as effective as it otherwise could be. So that's where holding for the 2 weeks around just the first dose, not the second of the vaccine, was advisable. There were a couple things related to timing. People can read, and I'm not going to get into it in great detail. Certainly, this is, again, something that working with your healthcare provider around the timing, but particularly for rituximab or Rituxan, that's often given every 4 to 6 months by IV infusion, where there might be some nuances that you want to consider about when to get the vaccine to optimize response versus when you might next get your redosing of the interval. I would point out that all these dosing considerations is really predicated on trying to optimize the response. There is no timing consideration whatsoever related to safety, where under certain conditions the vaccine might be safer related to your medicines. That wasn't at all on the table. It's just how might we optimize the response.